Welcome to Random Talks with Rach. I'm your host, Rachel Fleetman. You can call me Rach. I started a business at 18 in my parents' basement, and I'm now a 22-year-old shop owner who, like all of us, is just trying to figure this whole life thing out. Give the podcast a listen as we talk about life lessons, personal development, some shop talk, and everything in between. Feel free to head over to our socials to get a behind-the-scenes look at this wacky thing called life. Now, without further ado, let's get into this week's episode. Hello, and welcome back to Random Talks with Rach. I'm your host, Rachel Fleetman, and today's a very exciting episode. I'm not gonna lie, I am feeling all the feelings today, all happy, I should say. I have my Duncan, if you're watching, I have my Duncan and my kitty little pink thing because today I celebrate 2 years in my storefront location for my business, which it honestly is crazy to even think that it's been 2 years already because it's flown by, but at the same time, I feel like I've been here forever. So yeah, but as you guys know, I celebrated 3 years of my business in February. So I've had the business itself for 3 years. And then I got the keys to the store in May when I was 19, and I opened it 5 days before my 20th birthday. So today marks 2 years since my grand opening here at the store, which is so insane. But it was kind of fun because not only did we celebrate the grand opening of my business, or grand opening of my storefront, but we also celebrated my 20th birthday. So it was like a birthday collab type thing because my birthday is on the 19th. So it's 5 days apart. And yeah, so we're doing the same thing again this year, but the best part about this year is 2. 2 has always been my lucky number. It's always been my angel number. It's always been just my favorite number in general. It's always been 2. 2 has been my lucky number forever. Anything divisible by 2, I've just always loved. I'm like one of those weird people who don't like odd numbers. I hate odd numbers with so much. Like it's to the point where like if my volume on my, like if I'm in my car listening to something and my volume's like 37, I have to change it to 38 or 35. It can be 35 because to me that's even though I know it's not. Anyway, this is not a numbers talk, but 2's always been my lucky number. And so we celebrate my second birthday of the storefront, but we also celebrate my 22nd birthday, and I'm just so excited. And actually, as I'm looking at this, it's 10/22. I don't know. I see 2s everywhere, and it was kind of funny. I was talking to my friend about it because our lottery here, Nebraska Lottery, they give us like a lottery gift for our birthday. They send it to you in the mail. And in years past, it's always been like a Powerball ticket. Like you go get a Powerball ticket or whatever. And this year they sent is for the 222. Like, hey, go cash in for the lucky 2s or whatever, and you can win $22,000 or something like that. And I was telling my friend about it. I was like, 2s are just everywhere. And they know too. And she like stops it because I'm sending her Snapchat videos, and she stops it. She goes, oh my gosh. She goes, as you were saying that, I randomly saw, like she saw like it was 2:22 at 22 seconds, right as I was talking about 2. She goes, I just had to tell you that. It was so weird. And it was just one of those little things. I don't know. 2s have always been my lucky number. I've always told myself that 22 is going to be my lucky year. We'll see. I feel pretty lucky going this far into it. So yeah, but I thought today's episode would be a fun thing to just kind of talk about things I have learned in the 22 years of my life, more so over the past 2 to 4 years of my life, because as you guys know, if you've listened to other episodes, this is when my life has kind of like shifted the most. I've learned, I've grown the most, but there's a lot of things that I have learned, and I think this will be a fun thing to kind of look back on and be like, oh my gosh, she knew nothing, or oh, she was onto something there. And so if you're in your 20s, or maybe you're older, or maybe you're younger, and you're just, I don't know, this is just a little life talk of things I've learned so far, good, bad, highs, lows, the happy, the sad, all of that stuff. I actually, because last year I did 21 things that I've learned, or I don't remember. I did something with 21 and I listed 21 things. I was like, I could do that again for 22. But then I was like, okay, if we're going to list 22 things I've learned, we're going to be here forever, because I take it so much more, like there's so much more, I go so much more deep with things lately. And then I was like, oh, I could do 22 things I'm thankful for. But then I feel like that'd be just a quick episode because there's so many things that I'm thankful for. So we're just going to kind of talk about 22 is a fresh start. It's a starting over. It's a new year, a year of hopefully lots of growth in happiness and joy and learning and all the things in between. So yeah, the title of this episode is going to be A Fresh Start at 22. And not only that, but I think it's kind of fun because I get to redo the intro for the podcast. So I'm going to film that later today because in it I talk about like I'm now 21 and all this stuff. And I love the intro, but we're going to revamp it. We're going to revamp it a little bit because it's new year, fresh start, all of that fun stuff. Let's just get into it. I will say it was really hard for me to pick one to start with because I've learned so much, but as you guys know, and I'm sure you can actually tell me what I'm going to say right now if you've listened to my stuff or if you're like one of my friends, because I don't shut up about this. My number one motto in life, it's my number one thing. I circle back to this anytime good, bad things happen or anything really happens. It's the fact that everything happens for a reason. I talk about this all the time. You're probably rolling your eyes at me, but here, just hang on with me, because here's the thing. Yes, everything happens for a reason, but something that I take in, I had this on a board in high school. And it was something I always looked at, and I have had it on my vision board, every single vision board since. Within everything happening for a reason, something else I have learned is nothing changes if nothing changes. And I want you to take that and I want you to really think about it, because here's the thing. Within the storefront, as I was reflecting, I have vision boards. I talk about them all the time, but I used to have like a giant one on the back of my bedroom door with like literally my whole bedroom door would be covered in pictures of what I wanted my future to look like and all this stuff. And now I do them on my computer and stuff because I look at that more. But my back door used to be covered with them. And one of the pictures I had 6 months before I got the news about the store was actually I took a picture of a random store, a random brick and mortar store, and I photoshopped my logo at the time on top onto the building. And then I put that on my door. And so subconsciously, I was looking at this every single day. And to me, it was a 5-year plan. I was like, oh, in 5 years, it'd be nice to have a store. No way in heck was I thinking, oh, within a year, I'm going to be able to get a store. Like it was scary. But then everything kind of just fell into place. And so when I talk about vision boards, and we've had episodes about this before, but we can probably do another one kind of more in depth of recently, because my vision boards and all that have changed and they're unique to you. There's no right or wrong way to do it. But subconsciously, every single day I'd be looking at that picture. And whether I knew it or not, it wasn't until I thought I was worthy enough to do it. And a lot of this has to do with mindset. And within the years of my growth, I've learned so much about mindset. When I started, I remember thinking, what the heck do you mean mindset? Like, what is this? Is this some like witchcraft thing? Like, what is mindset? And the more I read all these self-help books and these like growth journeys and all that, I was on like a deep healing growth journey and for quite a while. But I learned so much about mindset, and you take your mindset into everything. It is up to you on what you do with your mindset. Is it going to be a happy mindset? Is it going to be a negative mindset? What are you going to do? What are you going to tell yourself day in and day out? What are your affirmations going to be? Are you going to tell yourself, oh, I suck at this? Well, if you tell yourself that enough, you're going to start to subconsciously believe it. Or you're going to say, oh, it's okay. I may have messed up, but that's okay. I learned, and then move on. And so looking at that, and I think that's why vision boards are so powerful, because once you look at it enough, you start to believe that's your life, that you're worthy of that life, and you're just waiting to get there. But you're not waiting to get there, it's already yours. The way I like to view like your path, and a lot of this, you're either going to get it or you're not. And that's honestly the hard truth. I've talked to a lot of people and I'll be like, oh, this is what my future is going to look like. And they're like, yeah, right. With what money, or with how are you going to get there? All this stuff. I'm like, I don't know exactly yet, but I know that's where I'm going. And you have to be so headstrong in that belief that you're worthy of it, that it's already yours. Think of it like a road trip, okay? Your life is like a road trip. Your end destination is that vision board. And it's going to change over time. You're going to go through cycles, and that's okay. But your end destination is that dream, whether that's a business dream or whether that's like, I want to have a mountain house, or I want to have a beach house, or I want to have a house in the middle of nowhere with a bunch of land, or I want to live in the city, or whatever it is. Think of that vision that you have, okay? Now I want you to imagine yourself going on a road trip. I'm leaving for a road trip tomorrow, but we're going to go on the road trip. We're on the way there. We have our hotels booked and everything. We know we're going to end up where we're going to end up, but we're not there yet. But we know it's already ours. We know at the end of the day, or at the end of the road trip, no matter how long it takes us, we're going to end up at the hotel. There might be some bumps and roadblocks along the way. We might have to take a detour. We might have to, I don't know, hopefully we don't get a flat tire, but you never know. Things might happen along the way, but along with things happening along the way, you're going to stop and you're going to enjoy other things. There might be little stops along the way that you're like, oh, let's go check this out. Let's pull over and check this out. Those are your little stops along the way of the road trip. And so if you're just driving on your road trip and you're not enjoying the scenery or in the drive in general, you're just so consumed on what's there, what you're going towards, the road trip's going to take forever. It's like that, like when the little kids are like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Or when you look at your clock and you feel like an hour's passed, but it's only been 5 minutes. That's what's happened when you're not enjoying, when you're so focused on the end result that you're not enjoying the parts of your life in the road trip that are ahead of you, in front of you. So that's just the way I personally vision it, because I have all these dreams, I have all these goals, and I know one day I'm going to achieve them. How I'm going to get there, I don't know yet. That's not up to me. The little steps I make every single day are going to get me to the person I want to be at the end of the day. But sometimes plans change. I wasn't planning on having a store within a year, but obviously plans change. It's not all in my control. Sometimes things are coming faster than you think, and sometimes things are going to take longer than you think. And that's okay. At the end of the day, you just know that that's your destination and that's where you're going. And hopefully that analogy kind of made sense. We can have a whole separate video or a whole separate episode about this because I can dive more into it. But that's just kind of the analogy, but also the kind of way I view it. And it's either you get it or you get it. You believe you're worthy of it or you don't. And if you're going to second guess yourself, well, then you're not going to get there. And I feel like that's why a lot of people get stuck. Am I where I want to be completely yet? No, but I'm enjoying the time I have now. I'm enjoying the things I have now. I have a storefront that is crazy to me. I have the ability to draw and to doodle and to put my artwork on things, and people love it. And I love that. I have the ability to, it may not be my dream car, but I have a car and it allows me to get places I want to go. I may not be living in my dream house, but that's farther down the line. I'm still getting to spend quality time with family and friends and all that. And I think it's just one thing that when you set your sights on the future so much that you forget to live in the present moment. I think we get so focused on adding days to our life. We want more and more time. People are like, oh, well, we'll live till we're 80, till we're 90 if we're lucky. But instead of adding days to your life, why don't you add life to your days? Let's switch it around a little bit. Let's add some meaning to each of our days, whether that's big or small, whether that's your morning coffee. Yeah, you went on a run to Dunkin' or whatever, a local coffee shop or something, and that was your little happy piece of the day. And maybe you met someone new, or maybe you got fresh air or saw a new park that you've never seen. Add life to your days. Don't just spend them living in hopes that you get more, because what are you going to do with those? What are you going to do with them? So we kind of took a really big detour with all of that. But within it, I was talking about how nothing changes if nothing changes. And this is something that I said, it really does impact it. I could have, when I started this whole growth journey and all that, I could have read the self-help books and done nothing with them. Or like I actually did, I read them and I took them into my life and I tried to practice them. Mindset is something that is so hard to learn and to grow and to develop, I feel like, especially when you're changing it, especially when you're in such a almost like a victimizing mindset where you're like, oh, pity me, it's all about me, da-da-da. No, it's not. Sorry, it's not. And you have to be truthful to yourself with that eventually. You're going to make mistakes. You got to own up to them. You're going to do wrong. You got to own up to it. You're going to do a lot of good though. And you have to celebrate those little wins. Like I said, today's my 2nd year anniversary. Normally I have, or 2nd year birthday with the store. Normally I have like a party or something here, but there just wasn't enough time with everything else going on. But I was like, I'm still going to celebrate it because it is still a milestone that I'm proud of. So I literally got donuts from Dunkin' and I put candles in it and I'm making a cute little video out of it. I got a coffee. Did I need to spend $10 on it? No, but it's a little celebration just for me to show myself that, hey, I'm proud of you. Like, no matter, even if I tell you I'm proud of you, but I'm proud of you. And you got to remind yourself that because not everybody's going to remind it for you. Yes. So like, I was saying nothing changes if nothing changes. If you don't put in the work, if you don't do the effort, if you don't take the risks, nothing is going to change. If you're living in your comfort zone 24/7, what do you expect one day to wake up and your life be completely different? That's only going to happen if you're making little changes every single day in your life. If you're going to take the next step to start the business or to start your healing journey or to start this growth journey, or if you want to move across the country, do something now that you can start to save up for it. Or if you want to take a trip, what are you doing to get you to that trip? Because the money's not just going to appear in your account magically one day. Unless you truly believe it. Well, maybe you'll win the lottery. But it's all about the mindset within it, and you have to do something about it. You can't just live day in and day out. When I took the store, I had a fair share of people tell me, that is so risky. Why are you doing this? Are you sure? Like, Because at the time, I was hand making all my shirts. So it was a big step, a big investment that honestly, I wasn't sure if it was going to work out, but I had belief in myself and I was like, I'm never going to be this young again with this opportunity again. I'm going to do it. And if I fail, then I fail. And obviously we've been here for 2 years and it's been such an amazing journey, but it's because I tried it. It's because I didn't listen to what other people were telling me and I just did it because I know that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to do. And it took a lot of mindset work. I used to value the opinion of others so much that if they were telling me not to do it, I wouldn't have done it. But you can't let other people control your life. They have their own life to worry about. This is your life. What are you going to do with it? What do you want to accomplish? Nobody else is living your life for you. You're doing it for yourself. Going along with the nothing changes if nothing changes, I think we get so stuck in the fear of looking stupid because, oh, well, what if I fail? Okay, and everybody fails. You think the most successful people in this world haven't failed once, that they were just successful their first go around? No, absolutely not. They took their failures and they turned them into lessons. And that's what you have to do too. And I think a lot of things, like for social media, for example, I know a lot of people don't want to post on social media. There's that, and that's okay. But there's a lot of people who I know who want to, or they'll be like, oh my gosh, you post so much. I don't post nearly as much as I want to. And I sometimes get hard on myself for that because I know I can do better. But I'm also one person trying to do a million different tasks that sometimes I have to give myself grace. But within it, if you look back at my old videos, you will cringe. I cringe. I'm like, what is this girl? She's acting so freaking fake. What is this? Absolutely not. But I started somewhere, just like everybody starts somewhere. And eventually I got warmed up to the camera enough that I just didn't care. I've had a fair share of hate comments. I've had a fair share of people tell me, oh, it's when I started my business that it was handed to me or the money was handed to me. Absolutely not. I worked for every single penny that I've invested into this business. And that's okay. Just because it's some random person telling me what they think that my life is, I know what my life is at the end of the day. And there's going to be other hate comments and there's going to be people who are laughing at you. Maybe you're scared of people who know you and how they're judging you. So what? So what? Because I will tell you, this is on a lower level, of course, but when I started my business, there was a funny amount of people, and I say funny because it's like people I went to school with or whatever, that acted that in high school or when I knew them, they were so cold, so rude, so all of this. But then when I started the business, that's when they started like coming out of the woodworks and they're like, oh my gosh, I'll enter your giveaway. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Acting like they knew me and we were besties and all this stuff. And then when I opened the storefront, I got a whole new wave of people who never supported me in the beginning, who never gave a crap, who never supported me before I had this business, before I had the store, and then they expect something out of it. They come and they act like, oh, we're besties. Oh, can I have a discount? Can I do it? Absolutely not. If you're not there for me when I start, if you're not there for me and supporting me in the beginning, then why the heck do you think I'm going to allow you in it in the end? That's just not how it works. And that's how you have to be. You have to set that kind of boundary around people. There's going to be people who pop out of it. Whether you're starting out now, they may be laughing at you now. But then when you're successful down the line, you're going to see who just pops out of nowhere. And it's up to you what you do with that. But honestly, obviously, if you don't know people at that time, that's a different story. But I don't know. It's kind of funny. You always hear about those stories. And then for me, when it actually happened, I was like, oh, that's cool. That's nice. No, you can't have a discount, but you're welcome to stop in my store. Another thing I've learned over the past few years, and this is like one of the bigger ones, I feel like, but it's the fact that it's okay to let go. It is so okay to let go. I know if I could go back to high school Rachel and just give her a big giant hug and tell her that it's okay to let go, I would in a heartbeat. A lot of this had to do with people pleasing, but I was so in tune with making everybody happy. I didn't want to let anybody down. And in the end, that always hurt me. But I wasn't concerned about that. I was concerned about everybody else. But it is okay to let go. Whether that is of people, of things, of a dream you once had, of a vision you once had, whatever the case is, it's okay to let go. It's healthy to let go. And one of the books I talk about all the time, and I've carried it in the shop, is called This Is How You Heal. Same author, it's Brianna West. She also wrote 101 Essays to Change the Way You Think. I've read that book so many times. It's my number one book recommendation if you're starting the self-care, self-healing journey, or just want to like know more about yourself. Read that book. It is so good. We have it in the shop. Otherwise, I'm sure you can find it in so many other places. But in the This Is How You Heal book, she talks about how letting go is as easy as an exhale, and we do it all the time. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. And I'm sure you've heard that quote, but it is so true. If somebody, think of it as small as somebody cutting you off in traffic. Are you going to let that ruin your day? Or are you just going to let it last 10 seconds? Be like, oh, a big you, and then be like, okay, it's fine, move on. Or what I like to do sometimes I have a little road rage, but sometimes when people are cutting me off, I'll just be like, have a great day. Or I hope you have the day you deserve. Just a smart ass little comment that I know they're not hearing, but it like takes the takes the initial frustration out for me. But it truly is. And so obviously that goes for a small thing, but if somebody cuts you off, are you going to let that ruin your whole day? Or if you spill your coffee, or if you, I don't know, whatever the case is, if you do something small, are you going to let that dictate your day? Are you going to let a little comment of somebody who doesn't know you and doesn't know the life you've lived affect you for the rest of your day? Or even your week? No, you're not, because it's not affecting them. It's one of those things that we let go all the time. We let go of little things like that. If somebody cuts us off, okay, I'm going to move on, let go. We're going to let go if the, I don't know, worker at Chick-fil-A gets our order wrong or something. Anything small and big. But you let go of little things throughout your day so much, more than you know, because you're just doing it naturally. And then when the bigger things come on in life and you feel like you can't let go of it, you can. You do it all the time. This is just in a bigger scale. It's going to be harder. It's probably going to hurt a lot more, but you can do it. And you should do it. Because if you're holding on, it's like if you're holding on to this thing or this person or something that is just affecting your day-to-day life in not a positive way, that's like you going underwater with an anchor and you holding on to the anchor. You can't get above water because you're tied to that anchor. You just got to let it go. It's pulling you down. It's weighing you down. And the second you let go, it's a fresh breath of air. Like I was talking about how nothing happens or nothing changes if nothing changes. Another one that I saw a few months ago on Pinterest, actually, and I have loved it, is that's on you. That's on you. I say it to myself so much. That's on you. And it helps me not only keep myself accountable, but it also with other people. I'll be like, well, that's on you. You're going to treat me that way. That's on you. I'm going to react that way. That's on me. I'm going to do something big or small, whatever it is, that's on me. I don't get my ass out of bed and do the work, and now I'm procrastinating, and now I'm stressed out. That's on me. I don't film this podcast and just I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm going to go on my trip. That's on me. Another week without the podcast. It's on me. And it's something to help you. It's within self-discipline, but also it helps with other people. If people are going to treat you a certain way, it's like the let them, like how we talked about the let them theory. It's the same thing. It's just, that's on them. They want to do a certain thing. That's on them. They want to say a certain thing. That's on them. They think that they think that they know you in a certain way, and so they're going to treat you a certain way. That's on them. Whatever is going on, just start saying that's on you, or that's on me. That's on them. Whatever it is. It's just an easy little thing to remind yourself. And I know, I feel like I do it to myself more because there'll be days where I'm like, oh, I really don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to have to come and do certain things. I don't want to have to do the tedious SEO work for a day or whatever, something like that. I'll be like, well, that's on me. Because then I look back and I'm like, oh, well, I didn't do what I wanted to do, and I'm now seeing not the results I wanted to. That's on me. It helps just keep yourself accountable. Along with that, self-discipline is something huge that I've learned over the past few years. If you don't have self-discipline, it's so much harder to get stuff done. It is so much harder to build the life that you want. And a lot of that has to do with mindset. But there are some days where I truly don't want to do a lot of the work things. I want to do the fun things. I want to doodle. I want to make new little crafty things for the shop. I want to paint. But there's business things that need to be done. There's marketing things that need to be done. There's emails that need to be sent and responded to. There's all this, the bookkeeping that needs to be done or whatever. And yeah, maybe the crappy part of owning a business, but it needs to be done. And it's self-discipline. You have to schedule time in and get it done. This one's just a simple one, but it's be happy and have a happy day. Like, find the happy moments. Truly find the happy moments. I feel like it took me a while to actually like fully do this, but now I just kind of find the good in things. Or if something crappy happens, I'm like, okay, this sucks, but I know something's going to come good out of it. Even if it doesn't, I make something up. I'll be like, oh, well, yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Just tell myself that it's good. Because within it, like we talked about, you have to put life into your days. You're not adding days to your life. You got to put the life into your days. And so if I go around and I'm like, oh, this shitty thing happened, well, I'm going to let it affect my whole day. No. Find the good. Find the happy. Even if it's something as little as your morning coffee. I say that a lot because it's something I absolutely love and look forward to, not going to lie. But even if it's my morning walk, or I know I'm going to do some yoga or meditation or something just little that I know is prioritizing myself, that I know is going to be in the moment. I'm not focused on anything else besides my being me right in the moment. I do it. And it's just a little happy moment. But even happy moments of someone opening the door for you, or maybe I don't know. You really just got to find it. There's happiness all around you. And if you're happy and you radiate that, it's going to spread. It's going to spread like wildfire. So just be happy, find the good, and have a happy day. I say have a happy day in like all of my videos on Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff. And it's just like, it's kind of not my slogan, but I don't, maybe it is. I don't know. I say it all the stinking time, but it's truly just have a happy day or happy good morning. Like it's a good day. You tell yourself it's a good day, it's going to be a good day. And the last thing I want to talk about is life is honestly really simple. It's honestly really simple. You have to learn to get out of your own head and get into the moment, because the outcome that you want is right on the other side of everything that you don't want to do today. And I know that goes along with self-discipline, but it is so true. Think of all the things that if you got this done for your work or for whatever, maybe it's for your well-being, maybe you want to meal prep a healthy meal so you don't have to eat out, or maybe you want to plan workouts for the gym, or whatever it is that you don't want to do. Maybe you want to clean your room or clean your space so that you have a clear mindset for the week. Whatever it is that you don't want to do, the outcome that you want is right on the other side of it. You start doing the good, or start doing the things that you don't want to do. Self-discipline, it's right there. It's pretty simple. Life is only complicated because we make it complicated. And I know there's some days that I even struggle with that. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, like life is so shitty. But then I look at it big picture. I'm like, oh, why is it shitty? Because I procrastinated. Why am I stressed out? Because I didn't do this on time. I didn't do it when I told myself I needed to get it done by. I made excuses for myself or whatever. And now I am suffering the consequences of my own actions. So it is simple, and it's a good thing, but it's all about getting out of your own head, getting that fuzz bubble of I'm the victim, everything's so bad, why does bad things always happen to me? Get out of your damn head and get into the moment. What are the good things happening right here, right now? I'm looking around and I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's so colorful. I have a pink wall behind me, a pink microphone, a delicious coffee. I'm recording this. I have a camera that I saved up for that's in front of me, a computer that I saved up for that's in front of me, all these happy colors, a storefront, all this. The little things. It's literally the little things. I have donuts over there that are waiting for me for when I'm done recording. The little things. That's just getting into the moment. There's a million things going on up here. Trust me, there's a million things going on up here that I have to get done today before I leave for my trip. Am I going to let that stop me from enjoying my day? Absolutely not. Because if I stress about it, well, that's just not going to create a fun day. But you got to get out of your head. And you got to realize that everything you want, I know that if I get everything done on my to-do list, I'm going to feel so less stressed on my trip. I'm going to be able to enjoy my trip 20 million times more. And I'll feel productive. I'll feel accomplished. Versus me pushing it off and being like, I'll get it done later. I'll get it done later. Okay, well, you're going to get it done later, but you're going to be stressed about it. You're going to be pissed at yourself, all that stuff. But within that, you have to schedule rest. And I never did this before. I never really took it seriously. But scheduling rest, and I say scheduling rest because if you don't schedule it, you'll just push yourself to the point of a breaking point. And I've done that so many times. I'll be like, oh, no, it's okay. I don't need a day. There was a time where so my store is closed on Sundays, Mondays, and now Tuesdays for the summer. But Sundays were supposed to be my rest days, but I would never rest. I'd always work. Even if I was working at home, I'd still be working. And eventually it led to borderline burnout because I was so just exhausted. I hadn't had a day where I absolutely did nothing, and I didn't know how to do nothing. I didn't know how to lay there and watch a show and focus and not go on my computer and do some emails or whatever. I didn't know how to do it until I forced myself to do it. There was a day I remember I literally, I left my computer here. I had my phone on Do Not Disturb or airplane mode, so no notifications came in. And I literally just was there. I was in the moment. I literally laid in bed all day. I watched my show. I enjoyed resting fully, and I felt so refreshed after that. So yeah, I think that's all the things I have to talk about for today. But they're just little things that I've kind of learned. I could have gone on a much deeper level, but I figured, you know what? We're not going to do that this episode. But I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned something. If you have any life lessons that you've learned lately, if you're in your 20s or maybe you're older in your 20s or out of your 20s, or maybe you're younger and you're learning things, please let me know. Please message me on Instagram, or if you're watching here on YouTube, comment them down below. I would love to hear them. I love, love, love getting advice from other people or learning what they're learning and life lessons. We're all on this planet for the first time. We're all learning this whole life thing together. And so yeah, what are some of your biggest life lessons that you've learned? And I'd love to hear them. But if you haven't already, go ahead and follow the podcast on all social media platforms. If you're listening here on Apple or Spotify, go ahead and leave a little review. I'd love to read it. And if you're here on YouTube, subscribe down below, leave a comment. Again, check us out on all our social media. That's where I post behind the scenes, little clips from upcoming episodes, and all that fun jazz. So, yeah. I hope you guys have the happiest of happy days and hopefully got something out of this episode. And when you're listening to this, actually, it will be my 22nd birthday. We're launching this episode on Wednesday, which will be my birthday. So excited. I'll be definitely enjoying my time in the mountains, away from everything. But yeah, I hope you guys have the happiest days, and I will talk to you in a few weeks. Bye, guys.